Hello and welcome to the channel. Our day started early as we made our way to Kochi Ryoma Airport for our journey to the city of Kamakura. While waiting, we had some time to look around the terminal and see the surrounding area from the observation deck. Kochi Airport offers daily scheduled non-stop flights to and from Tokyo, serving both Haneda and Narita airports. It also serves Osaka, Nagoya, and Fukuoka. The airport is located 13 kilometers east of the city of Kochi, so make sure you give yourself plenty of time to make your flight, especially if you're coming from the city center. For this trip, we are flying to Haneda Airport, and from there taking the local subway to Kamakura. While in Kamakura, we will visit Shichiri-Gahama Beach on our first night. The next day, we'll hike through the Kamigaatsu Pass on our way to Engakuji Temple, where I want to do a special visit. Following that, we'll explore Asina Pass as part of a short hiking trip, and then to Kotokuin Temple, where the Great Buddha statue is located. Finally, we'll spend our last night back at the beach relaxing. We had great weather for our flight, and were able to catch a quick glimpse of Mount Fuji. Leaving Kamakura Station, we took in the surrounding area while searching for our hotel, which would be our base for the next few days. Hotel found, we checked in and took a moment to explore our room. The view from our window was not too bad. We have been in hotels where there's nothing but a building outside the window, so this will do fine. Leaving our stuff behind, we went out to explore the area, eventually making our way to Shichiri-Gahama Beach. It was 29 degrees Celsius in mid-September, so not surprisingly, the beach was the place to go to cool off in the evening. Shichiri-Gahama has an extensive beach area and is found in the southwestern part of Kamakura facing Sagami Bay. It's also popular for surfers year-round, with some bringing their boards on bicycles with racks attached, such as this one. Here's a better view of the setup. Not sure if they're available for purchase or custom-made, but you will also find these attached to motorcycles and scooters. We initially believed the pup was agitated because its owners were entering what it perceived as a hazard. But it just wanted to surf as well. It even had a life jacket, which is very smart. After a long day, there was nothing better than this. Hey guys, so our hotel has something called the Midnight Snack, which starts from 7 p.m. to to midnight. It's pretty small, as you can see. It is definitely a snack. This is a little rice ball, and I think it's a clam miso soup here, which I'm gonna...
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's go this way.
There are clams in it.
Oh my god, there is actually clams in there. It's a pretty small amount of food, but we just flown in and ate some fruits, so not very hungry tonight, so this is gonna do really well. But yeah, nice little extra this hotel gives. I have never seen anything like that before. Any hotel I've ever seen. Feeling refreshed, we enjoyed a Japanese breakfast before heading to Engakuji Temple by way of Shichiri-Gahama Pass. Along the way, we found an old storage building known as a kura. This one looks like it's been converted into a residence or office. We also found a temple we did not previously know about. It's called Yafukaji and was established around 1200. It's the oldest Zen temple in Kamakura. The main object of worship is Shaka Nyorai and is known for the vast graveyard behind the main hall called Yagura or tombs, which are artificial caves carved into the rock wall. These were mainly used during the Middle Ages and can be found all over Kamakura. Wow, it's warm. The temple's main hall is not open to the public, which is evident as the path here is well covered in moss. I was, however, able to find a photo of the tombs, which gives an idea of what they look like. As I understand, these are name slips left by prominent people or even companies that have come to the temple to visit. I'm not sure if they do this anymore, so some of these can get very old depending on the temple. As we continued on, just before Kamigatsu Pass, we did find other ancient tombs cut into the rock wall. Ironically, one had been converted into a storage area. Built sometime between the 12th and 14th centuries, the pass is one of Kamakura's 7 Kiridoshi passes and was built to connect Kentochi and Engakuji temples with the old city of Kamakura. During our visit to Engakuji Temple, we made a special pilgrimage to the grave of Japanese film director Yasujiro Ozu. His notable works include Late Spring, Tokyo Story, and An Autumn Afternoon, among many others. After discovering his films many years ago, I've become quite the fan of some of his movies. This enjoyment now extends to Donna, who recently started watching his films as well. Engakuji Temple, where Yasujiro Ozu rests, is also one of Japan's most important Zen Buddhist temple complexes. Founded in 1282, this temple was established by the Zen monk Mugaku Sogen at the request of Japan's ruler. All kinds of fortunes were that way, but we passed on it, continuing to explore the grounds. When you're at Buddhist temples, I find it's always worth stopping at the temple's main gate, as you will find some amazing wood carvings there. After our temple visit, we found a busy shopping area and a lot of tourists, which contrasted with the serene temple atmosphere we had just walked out of. It was time to get some lunch, and despite the heavy crowds, we were able to find seating at one restaurant. I have to admit that these type of pasta dishes you can find nowhere else, and when I'm in Japan, I definitely get into them. After a great meal, we decided to walk around Tsurugoka Hachimangu, a Shinto shrine dating back to the 12th century. Because of bad weather, we did not spend much time there, but these photos show the shrine complex when we visited in 2014. The shrine serves as a cultural center for Kamakura and hosts many important festivals due to its spiritual and historical status. It's also Kamakura's largest and most important Shinto shrine. Located at the geographical and cultural center of the city, it's dedicated to Hachiman, the god of war and patron of the Minamoto family, which were the ruling samurai clan of Kamakura during the Middle Ages. Among this historical site, you can also find a serene lily pad pond, providing a place to relax and enjoy the surroundings. You will also notice an old stone bridge near the entrance of the shrine. It was reserved exclusively for the shogunate and upper nobility, with the common people using the flatter bridge on either side to access the shrine. This is something that happens when you're visiting important historical sites. To help them learn English, school kids will come up to you and ask questions as part of their assignments. It's completely voluntary, but as you can see, I really enjoy these interactions. Maybe I should have been a school teacher. At this spot, a torii gate marks the entrance to the shrine. For us going the other way, our route on the Dankazura walkway will lead us back to our hotel. The walkway is a 450-meter elevated path that was originally built in 1182 and may have been defensive as there was moats on both sides. Seeing familiar sights, we entered a shop for a few minutes before going to a local restaurant, which marked the end of this day. The restaurant was a beautiful place and looked like it had been around for some time, judging by its old wooden structure. We enjoyed this place so much we came for a second night. A good local beer, by the way. Back at the hotel, we were able to catch the weather forecast. Tomorrow would be another hot day at 28 degrees Celsius. When in Japan, brace yourself for the unexpected, like weather girls wielding Shiba Inu puppets. The next day, we went in search of Asina Kiridoshi Pass, and a great opportunity to mix hiking with a bit of history. As you enter the trailhead from the Kamakura side, you encounter Saburo Falls, named after the Japanese superhero Asahina Saburo Yoshite, who is said to have created the pass in one night. One of 7 constructed during the Kamakura era, Asina Kiridoshi was cut through the rock around 1240 and served as a vital trade route connecting Kamakura to the port of Matsura near present-day Yokohama. During the Kamakura period, these passes played a significant role for the shogunate and the isolated city of Kamakura, both politically and economically. The roughly 2-kilometer pass that we hiked winds through soft sand rock carved out long ago, which creates walls as high as 16 meters. It was a hot and humid 28 degrees Celsius day there, which was made even more challenging by the small stream close to the trail and the high rock walls holding the heat in. Due to these factors, the rocky path is very wet, so traction can be tricky when walking. But it turned out to be an amazing place to hike, and we had the trail all to ourselves that day. Well, kinda, except for this tiger beetle. Making sure we had good footing on the wet rock, we continued up the trail. You will find some Buddhist monuments and stone carvings dotted along the way, most of which look like they've been here for many centuries. An example of an old statue here, which has been long worn away by weather and time. You can also find yagura here. Not sure about this particular one, but they were also used as cenotaphs later on. On one of the exposed walls, you can still see the marks created by tools used to cut through the mountain. The deceased buried in these yagura were mainly from the rising samurai class, but names of priests and artisans have also been found. This Buddhist deity carved into the rock face was a highlight for us. I could not find any information out there, but given the deep cave carved into the rock, I feel that this could have been one of the tombs, in this case possibly for a high-ranking Buddhist official. And along the way we found more examples of nature. One of the many interconnecting trails, this one will take you to Kumano Shrine. And here's a good example of yagura carved into the rock. This shows how high the walls were in places. These sections were created using engineering methods in which the mountain ridges were dug vertically down to create the pass. Evidence of the old pass still remained here. However, with the hike's seclusion and the feeling that we had gone back in time, coming out onto the modern roads was quite jarring due to the sudden sounds. After that, we went over to Hase Station near Kotokuin, a Buddhist temple where you can find the Great Buddha. The bronze statue is of Amitabha, and at 13.5 meters is probably one of the most recognizable icons of Japan. However, even though it's become a tourist attraction, it is important to remember that Kotokuin is a religious temple and visitors should enter with that in mind. Constructed during the Kamakura period in 1252, it was once gilded, with some traces still visible around the ears today. The main hall that housed the statue was twice destroyed by typhoons in 1334 and 1369, and each time was rebuilt. However, in 1498, a tsunami resulting from the Nankai earthquake washed the hall away, leaving only the large statue. Following the earthquake, no replacement hall was ever built, and the Great Buddha has been out in the open since. The statue is hollow inside, and the doors were added after the last hall was destroyed to allow heat to circulate out on hot days. These are Buddha's sandals, and a good visual of the statue's scale. On our way back to the station, we found this clothing store that was packed to the rafters, so much so that it was hard to move around. However, we did find it a great place to buy some gifts for friends back home. For our last evening in Kamakura, we decided to return to Shachiri Gahama Beach, enjoy the atmosphere, and dine at a restaurant we like to visit when we're down here. After our meal, we walked down to the beach and relaxed. Please enjoy these last few scenes of one of my favorite beaches in Japan. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more Linden's Adventures content.